Hi everyone, it's Ed Fox and hope you're having a good day. Today I want to talk about what I call the chronic mindset of, of anyone like us who has suffered from chronic urticaria. And this would apply to if you've just been diagnosed with urticaria or whether you've had it for years. And it's it's a very important component of learning how, of helping you to manage it and eventually heal it. And what do I mean by mindset? Mindset is what happens behind the scenes of your mind as you go through the stages of acclimating and approaching to find a cure and a release from this kind of unbelievable suffering that we endure day or night. You see, when I first got my first serious hive attack back in 2014, it just shocked me so much. I never thought that I could be in so much discomfort. I might have explained in another video how that night I just held on to my wife's hand in bed while I just thrashed around in such pain, in such discomfort. It scared me that I could feel such a discomfort that I've never felt before in my whole life, and um, in my 60s when this first started. It's amazing. I think we've all heard how in our first or whatever biology class, we're told that the skin is the largest organ of the body. And yet we don't seem to take much out of that because it doesn't seem that important to us. We're thinking the brain, the lungs, the heart, the kidney, the liver. But anyone who's suffering from hives really gets that point. Every inch of your body, every inch of skin covering your body has the potential and will eventually, if the hives last long enough, to be a square inch of pain and discomfort. And I'm talking about behind the ears, in the crotch, behind the knees, behind the ears, the scalp, the face. Everywhere, everywhere is a potentiality for discomfort. And when you cover 80%, when 80% of your body is covered with welts, let me tell you, it's, God, it would humble the strongest man. It's just, well, I'm preaching to the choir here because if you're listening to this, you know what I'm talking about. So whether you're new at this, it's just sort of come on to you, or whether you've had it for years, I'd ask you, as I had to ask myself, what's the mindset that you're in? There's no way in the beginning that you're in a fearful mindset when it comes on. You've never experienced anything like this. You want to avoid it at all costs. And so it puts the fear of God in you, actually. But to move quickly through that into understanding, oh, I have this mindset of fear, and I have to work on that. Because as I'm going to get into in later videos, there are some real physiological things that are occurring that are reactions to pathogens, reactions to food, reaction to environment, which is later compounded by our emotional reaction and our long-term mindset, right? When you see something happen in the world, when you see the pandemic that we're going through right now, and the mind gets, oh, this is terrible, this is scary, you notice a tightness in your body. You notice how upset you get. For every mental concept, there's a physiological response. You see an animal get hurt and you feel it in your body. This is so natural. We all have this mind body connection. So when we see ourselves suffer and we begin to say, I don't want this to happen again, it might happen tomorrow, it might happen tonight, it might happen in the next hour. What's that mind? What emotions is that mental thinking causing to the body? I can't say this enough. There's an emotional component that adds to the corresponding pathogen, allergen, whatever's coming in that's hitting the body. And why it's hitting the body, I'll talk about later. But if we get the right mindset about what's going on, then we'll be really open to understanding the dynamics that go on in the body, because it'll take you 3 or 4 years of suffering to really be open to new ideas. But let's take a look at the mindset now, and maybe you won't have to suffer as long as I did. So when you're first starting out on this horrific journey of having the hives and not knowing why, what did I do to get this? I was healthy at one time in my life. I wasn't allergic to this food. If you realize, if you've diagnosed with a food, or I wasn't allergic to this. I've had a whole life fulfilled, free from hives, and now all of a sudden at 62, I've got hives, or at 33, you've got hives, or whatever age. You begin to handle that with a mindset that says, okay, this is happening to me. What am I going to do about it? When the doctors tell me it's idiopathic and I'm on my own, what am I going to do about that? Am I going to be a victim and just go running around and trying to surround myself with people who are suffering like me and just sort of, I know some of you are going to turn this off right now because I said that, but that was me, right? You go out there trying to find other people who suffer like you so you feel comfortable. That's necessary. I get it. But let's develop a mindset that says, if I'm on my own, I'll find a way. I'm not alone in this universe. If you have a spiritual background, okay, there, I said that too, then that spiritual background will come into the forefront and you'll realize that we are capable of managing this. You have to take my word for it for now as I begin to unravel and unfold information to create a foundation so that I can share with you some of these deeper dynamics that I've discovered. I don't mean to mask this in any kind of secrecy, but if you're suffering right now, you're really thinking, Ed, what can you tell me that would make me feel better? And what I can tell you right now, what would make you feel better is to try to nurture a mindset that says, if I have idiopathic hives, the doctors can't help me, the doctors can't tell me what's causing it. It's not eating strawberries, it's not eating this, I'm not allergic to peanut butter, then I'm going to figure it out myself. Maybe with Ed's help, maybe with a bunch of people's help, okay? But let's talk about it, because when I started 4 years ago, there was nobody talking about this, which is why I encourage you to go down and leave a comment. If you don't agree with me, tell me why. If you agree with me, great. If you have a question, leave your question in the comments. I'll respond to that. I'm not just here to share. I'll always talk from what I know, but I would love to answer and be of service to you as well. So, new people, try to, from the get go, say, okay, they don't know what it is. I'm going to figure it out myself. Therefore, you're saying to yourself, I'm not alone. I'm not hopelessly at the mercy of this. I'm going to figure it out. Doctors will tell you, no, you can't, but they have an allopathic model to go by, a pharmaceutical model to go by. If they don't have a drug to control the body, they don't have an answer. That's modern medicine. And I went to functional medicine doctors. I went to acupuncturists. I went to chiropractors outside of the allopathic model, and they still couldn't help me. I had to figure it out by myself. So getting the right mindset that you can do this, and I will support you. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm doing this. It will strengthen you. You won't feel so helpless. The first step you're taking is listening to these videos, I hope, and figuring out that that they have some value for you. And then going about searching your diet, searching your mental beliefs, searching a whole bunch of things, searching new science that offers some help to strengthening the body's response to the hives. For those of you who have been suffering for like 2, 3, 4 years, you already have a mindset, which is possibly, you might, I hope you don't, I'm a victim, I'm suffering, there's nothing I can do about it. You may have a harder time moving through that mindset of, I'm at the mercy. Somebody's got to come up with an instant cure, rather than, I'm going to get to the bottom of this. I'm going to use new science. I'm going to use new technology and find out what's going on. I wasn't born with this. I wasn't genetically inclined to have this. Oh, and by the way, I'm not a doctor. I'm just a sufferer like you guys, so don't use this as to diagnose it. If you haven't been diagnosed, go get a diagnosis. But if you're idiopathically inclined to your hives, then you know that you're on your own. But you know that something went wrong somewhere, that now you're having hives. Some disorder is going on. And this website, I hope, this YouTube channel will help you find that, will lead you to the answer that is uniquely yours. I get a little crazy and emotional about this, but I know that you'll understand because you're feeling the same way. So I hope this helped, and I had to say this, and I hope you guys have a great day. Hang in there. As I always say, you're not alone. Let's stick together, and we'll beat this thing. Have a great day if you can, and hang in there. You're not alone.